Thank you very much, Chris. And I'm sorry, Gilbert, because our time is up, and I would, before we move the youth delegates, before we move to the meeting with the Mr. Ban Ki-moon, I would like to present you a very special guest that we have here with us today, and it's the permanent representative of Georgia to the United Nations, Ambassador Kakha Imnadze, and he's here to encourage you and show his support to the work that you do.
Thank you. Please. No, I'm going to talk from here. It was really fascinating experience for me, listening from that behind this corner. What I want to say is, as you know, and you've been discussing this in this organization, we have so many issues, and the spirit that I saw here does give me personally reason for much greater optimism that all the resolutions that we are adopting in the other chamber. What I want to ask you to stay as young as possible, as long as possible, with all the energy, the zeal that you have, because you are really the ones who will have to inherit, unfortunately, not much better world that my generation inherited, but probably much worse, because we are giving you so many problems. But we will try to make it a little bit better. The entrepreneurship, the spirit of entrepreneurship is indeed very important. I want to thank you all, the organizers, the participants. And the last question really struck me, the question of education, because it somehow reminded me that this question has always been there. My generation asked that question, and we also had a song about that question, whether we needed it or not. We don't need that sort of education, but we do need education because it has to become part of the genome. An educated, highly educated man who will really bring transformation. Your moral imperatives will bring transformation, and one has to be focused on that. Of course, I agree that the case of Mark Zuckerberg is 1 out of a million, but what I want to wish you all, and this is something that you can have as a spirit, you have to have just two things: possibility of choice and the freedom of choice. And I hope that you will make right choices in your future endeavors, whether that's entrepreneurship or your political career, if any of you decide to follow that, or just being a responsible citizen of your own countries and a responsible global citizen, as I would say. Thank you all for honoring Georgian youth delegates with your presence. Thank you for honoring this and this partnership of two rugby nations, as a matter of fact, Australia and Georgia. And thank you for having me here as someone who really got a lot of things that I noted in my mind with the rest of my staff. And we'll try to do something to make your life a little bit easier. But you still will be responsible for all the SDGs and carrying it forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much. There is no better ending than that. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
You had the whole price this year? I went to Dubai last year with it.
How did Shanghai lost? Oh, yeah, well, small world.
Was that the education one?
No, we did something else there. I was mentoring a team then, so I wasn't
Yeah, we lost too.
It's an amazing commercial experience.
Oh, it is.
I think that's such a great job of creating it.